Hello, babies.
I don't know song titles. You have to give me the melody.
No, I refuse. Our guest is in the waiting room.
Oh, early. I like it. Punctual. Good luck in saying her last name.
Mikotowicz.
One more time.
Mikotowicz.
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 Never would have said that.
It's Lithuanian.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Humble brag.
I do my research. I do my research, producer Ray.
So you know she's from Lithuania.
I know that the name is Lithuanian. She's from Maine.
Yeah, Bangor.
Originally of New York City.
What'd you call it? When I said you
Oh,
Banger. Banger Fox. Fox Banger.
Fox. The old Fox Banger times.
Yeah.
How's my hair?
Not as good as mine. Hello.
I should have worn that.
Hi.
How are you?
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Very
good.
good.
You can hear us and see us and everything okay?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Sorry about that. Sorry about that.
Sometimes we blur ourselves so you don't have to deal with it with the visual.
Rich didn't put a hat on. He doesn't look up to par.
I know. Should I wear a hat?
No, you look good. You look good. You look fine.
Terrible. So bad. How are you doing, Elizabeth?
I'm great.
Do you go by Elizabeth or
Yeah.
full
Or
the full
some of my
three
friends
syllable?
Call me Beth or Liz. I don't really take offense to any of it.
Maybe by the end of the interview, we can call you Liz.
Sure.
Or Lizzie? I like a E. No. So welcome to the Simple Minds Sports Show, our conversation with, and I think I have it. I know Ray doubts me, but I think I have it. Oh, now I'm nervous. Elizabeth Mikotowicz.
Yeah. Good job. Most people don't
I
get that.
Wow.
I present to you, Suck It, Raymond.
Wow. I'm impressed.
Welcome to the show. Welcome to the conversation. Elizabeth, you so artist, we want to hear your story, survivor of abuse, drugs, prison, you're a walking inspirational story. We want to hear all about that. We are a New England sports show, so I think it is important to point out that you're from Bangor. You're up there,
Yeah.
and you're in Bangor right now?
Yeah, I'm in Bangor right now.
Awesome. Is that
Yeah,
a Stephen King like mirror behind you?
Oh no.
Oh, there's a piece of art. Nice.
Yeah, and that's one of my mom's mirrors. But yeah, you can actually see the water tower from the movie It right from my porch.
Wait, the new one? The new It?
Yeah.
Ooh, good movie.
And the Paul Bunyan statue that like comes to life and like tries to kill them all at one point. That's in Bangor too.
Nice. So you got just a full creep show.
Yeah, they did a really good job with that movie. Like the hate crime against the gay couple at the fair that really happened in Bangor too in the 70s, and so I thought that was really cool that they put that in the movie.
Stephen King's an amazing author. Like the genre doesn't hit everybody, a lot of people, but his writing is just phenomenal. Like you can't get much better than it. Okay, so you're Bangor. Stephen King, we got that. You grew up around art and music. Your father was a pianist, right?
My stepfather was, and my father was chairman of the arts at University of Maine, and he would direct shows and do all kinds of artsy stuff too. So, I mean, I always had that influence in my life, but I really took to painting in high school and, kind of lost touch with it when my life turned upside down. But when I went to federal prison, I would, as part of my hustle to make extra money, because a 10-cent thing of ramen noodles that you pay out here is like $1.50 in there, and we were getting paid $5.25 a day. When I got the painting job, it was like $58 a month, and I thought I was like balling because that was one of the highest paid jobs in the prison. I mean, it's
all relative, right? You were balling.
Yeah. So
in
I
that
mean,
situation.
I would paint cups and I'd sand them down, and then I'd have some of the maintenance girls grab me some floor wax out of there, and so I'd coat the cups with floor wax so they wouldn't like wash off and they could clean their stuff. And pretty much I just had art as like a side hustle too.
Yeah. That's amazing. Okay, so let's do that. Let's do the full story. So it's you're in an abusive relationship that really kind of kicks it all off. You get a
Yeah.
bad head trauma, brain damage. They give you the drugs, the opioids that leads to your incarceration sentence. So why don't you walk us through that kind of painful journey, that kind of spiral to where you got to, and then we'll get to how you've gotten all the way back here.
Right. So 15 years ago, I was assaulted with a wooden dowel, and it hit me right above my eye, and you could see my skull when it happened, and they had to sew the muscle back together and then the skin back together. And then I literally couldn't lift this eyebrow for like a year. And they're like, well, you're going to have to get plastic surgery, fixed it. And like eventually it worked itself out. But, I started experiencing like these little mini seizures, and I would go deaf and blind for moments at a time. And then I'd wake up, on the ground, not knowing how long I was out for. And my 14-month-old daughter is running around, and I'm going, she's really not safe with me, and there's absolutely nothing I can do about it. And I tried to turn, the first, like when the first initial injury happened, like, okay, I took the opiates, fine. But when they put me in the pain clinic, I was like, I don't want to take this stuff every day. Like this is very addictive. Like the whole community is addicted to this stuff now.
Right.
And they're like, well, because you're pregnant, if you refuse, that could result in a call to Child Protective Services, putting your baby in danger. And I'm going, are you serious right now? Like I couldn't.
So sorry to interrupt you. The refusal for narcotics was putting your child in danger.
Yeah, because my blood pressure was spiking so much. But the thing about opiates is that they make the pain receptors in your brain more sensitive. So when the drug wears off, you're in double the amount of pain.
Yeah.
And the pharmaceutical companies knew this. And they pushed it on us and they pushed it on us. And now we have this epidemic across America where everyone's addicted. Right. And it doesn't matter if it's, opioids, benzodiazepine, the amphetamines, which is just crystal meth in a pill. And, they are the psych meds that they have everybody so over medicated. I mean, we're doing 40% of the world's opioids.
Jesus.
And all the pain management people and the pharmaceutical people, they're like, people are saying it's 80%, and it's really not. It's only 40%. We make up 5% of the world population. The fact that we're doing 40% of the opioids is disgusting, period. It doesn't matter that it's not 80%. That is a very high number.
Yeah, that's incredibly high. I mean, that's insane. There's not a whole argument there. Okay, so that obviously, so now, well, could you consider yourself, addicted now? Is this a point where,
I was slowly getting addicted, and I wasn't like physically withdrawing, but the days I didn't have it, I was in excruciating pain and I wanted it, and I was miserable without it. So I wasn't like ready to admit to myself that I was like really becoming addicted. And then, once I had the baby, there was really no reason for me to, hold back or not take the extra pills or not, whatever. And I was dealing with this PTSD trauma, and there were more and more situations where I was being abused. And finally I went to Spruce Run, the battered women's shelter, and they turned me away with 2 beds open. And they said that after talking with the police, my situation was too dangerous and it put the other women in the shelter in danger. So, I mean, So
can I interrupt you real quick?
Yeah.
So instead of they're worrying about other women, they're not even caring about you, because like when I read about that, how they turned you away, like the biggest thing is that they say that women need to speak out like for domestic violence or domestic abuse, and they're turning you away. Like they don't, it just showed that they didn't care about you. They're just worried about everyone else.
Yeah, well, they care about PR and media, their donors. And this is a problem with victim-based shelters. Like there's another shelter in Bangor that supposedly helps with human sex trafficking victims. My girl tried to get into it, and this is when we were still in jail together, and they turned her away because she wouldn't snitch her pimp out. This guy knew where her mother was, her kids were. She was petrified. So because they didn't get a collar out of it and a conviction, they turned her away. You are letting victims slip through the cracks because, you know, it's not benefiting you. A shelter is not supposed to benefit you. You're supposed to help people in need.
Yeah. So is that shelter, is that program run by a police department or some type of law authority?
No, I don't know. I think that's their excuse of how they filter out,
Gotcha,
girls that are working and doing it willingly or whatever. But, girls that really have been sex trafficked are not going to testify against their pimp.
Right.
Most of them are going to be too terrified, and with good reason. I mean, that is a criminal element that you really don't want to get caught up in.
Yeah. Yeah. I have, on that in this vein of domestic abuse and men taking advantage of it, what are your thoughts on this? Do you think a lot of it or maybe a portion of it derives from how would I put it, like a lack of manhood that they're dealing with, that they have to overcome?
Yeah, a lot of them, it's about control, and when they feel like an element out of their life is out of control, they're going to control the woman, and they're going to take out their frustration on the woman, even though it's not her fault. She has no control over it, but that's what makes him feel like a man again, and in his masculinity. And what happens is it creates masculine females. Like after that relationship, I mean, truthfully, I had bigger balls than most of the dudes around here. I mean, that's really what it came down to.
Yeah. I mean, I can believe it. I think if you're on this mission and, to raise awareness, I think we could come up with some taglines that could really bring some levity to it, but also maybe a key point. Let me throw a couple at you. No, I'm not a marketing major, but I think some of these might stick. Okay. They could put them on a t-shirt, raise our t-shirt guy. Micro penis, major rager. A little literacy there. Got another one for you. This is a question. Pee-pee size, ? Stay alive. Got to measure the pee-pee, stay alive. And micro dong, I'm long gone. That's my favorite.
That's the one.
Micro dong, I'm long gone. So girls, if you when there's still an option to get out of there, if it's not working with a whole lot, just be aware. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, and then you have this generation that are like worshiping Andrew Tate, and they're like the high quality alpha male, and I'm like, okay, the real alpha males, in my experience, they don't have to bang on their chest and claim to be an alpha male. They just are.
Yeah, Andrew Tate's penis is an innie.
These clowns will never be anything above some beta's bitch. Like that's legit what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and of course, obviously, I'm making kind of light of the situation, and it's not one too, but Andrew Tate's he is laughable. Like the ludicrous, like the people that take him seriously is even more laughable, but the stuff that he says when he first started coming, I'm like, oh, he's like a comedian. Like this is the shtick.
Right.
And then you're
like, no, he's serious.
he's into this. Okay.
Yeah. It
was
was about like at the beginning of like the election when the Republicans were still trying to like hash out their candidate, and Donald Trump was making them all cry on the debates. Like it was about the equivalent of that. Like this is a joke. This has got to be a joke. And here we are years later.
And here we are in this range.
Still dealing with it.
So, but we haven't got there with your story yet. So let's back it up just a little bit. So we're coming somewhere close to, where you have to go to prison, which, I read your interview in the World Art News. Thank you. And the descriptions that you gave for prison were just horrifying and horrific, and Scared Straight, that TV show, should learn something, because they didn't do it justice compared to what you described. So anyway, wherever you want to pick up, in kind of your story there.
So I had drug dealers help me out and protect me because that shelter wouldn't, and I got sucked into a world I never wanted or ever planned on. I mean, before that I was in college. Like I was trying to, do something with my life, and eventually I caught charges and went to jail in the state, for the drugs. And then 2 years after that was all done with, the feds picked it up for the same. I got charged with the same drugs twice. So that whole double jeopardy thing.
Isn't that a movie?
Yeah, I was gonna say
it doesn't apply to drug dealers. You can literally go to jail in the state, and then the feds can pick it up for the exact same substance. You could have cleaned your life up, which is, what a lot happened with, some of my co-defendants. They had been completely done with everything.
Yeah.
And so we're all facing these charges, and, I saw horrible things in jail. I watched them beat this Somalian woman till she urinated on herself. She couldn't speak English. And then they look at me, and we're all in solitary unit, and they're going, "You're really quiet." And I'm like, "Yeah, I heard what happens when you're not." Like, are you serious? I mean,
did you have like a strategy, or were you around, did you get any advice from the people that you're with at that point in time in your life, like when you first were in, or was it just shell shock, learn as quickly as possible and go from there?
Being in the street and being as tough and crazy as I was from that relationship, I kind of moved my way up the chain and got myself around some really dangerous people. And they told me exactly what to expect with like my lawyer and what they were going to do. And they told me, exercise your right to remain silent. Like, literally state to the cops, I'm exercising my right to remain silent, because they don't have to tell you the truth, and they will play whatever mind manipulation game, that's why you want to take them up on that right. And, your lawyer, just tell him everything and say nothing to anybody. Like, do not talk about your case with people in there, because there's snitches in there trying to, get a piece of information to run with. And it's, I had cops lying about me, telling the feds that I was threatening a witness. And I go, I didn't threaten anybody. You never wrote me up for it. Like, they do things to try and set you up to get more time. It's like, I'm already in trouble.
Yeah. Stop doubling down on me, please.
Yeah.
But I know you mentioned, so your time, you had time in county, and then you moved to federal, and there was a big change there, a big difference.
Yeah. I was at the federal camp, and that was like almost the equivalent to like being let out. Like, there were no fences. Like, just to open the door, I had to like talk myself up, because I'm like, okay, this is not an escape charge. I'm allowed to open this door. I'm allowed to walk through. Like, you go through this whole like institutionalized like mental rewiring. Yeah. I mean, like, when I went to Walmart, I would get physically ill because the overstimulation was just like too much for me. And you get to in solitary, your brain will slow down from the lack of stimulation. So everything becomes overwhelming. And then in jail, usually the only stimulation you have is violence and chaos. So, or someone having a medical emergency and them not doing anything about it. Like, it's terrifying watching somebody go through a heart attack or a seizure, and the medical unit is just throwing them in the hole because they don't want to spend the money to bring them to the hospital. And I watched so many people die of cancer that shouldn't have. They had like non-violent 3-year sentences. Jeez. And the BOP just got their first charge of contempt, and I'm so happy about it, for letting this man die of cancer. And yeah, it's just horrible treatment. I mean, in every jail I've been to, almost every jail, we get boxes of food that, and right on the side of it, it says not for human consumption. So, I mean, then they wonder why people are having health problems.
Not for human consumption. That's basically Ray's diet, but he's still kicking around.
Right.
Two-part question for you. Is Prison Break a top 10 TV show for you?
Jesus Christ. Ray.
Absolutely not.
Have you ever watched Prison Break?
I've watched some of it, but
so
I mean,
you get the gist. Michael Scofield, he painted or tattooed his whole body like a prison escape. Did you ever think of that when you're doing with your art supplies? Like, maybe I can formulate a plan to get out of here since it was such hell.
That's a fair question.
That is.
Well, they didn't have fences. If you wanted to walk off,
damn it,
do that.
No map needed. That
was the irritating part. You get these rookie cops that are like, "Are you guys gonna go nuts?" And we're like, "Dude, we're at it. This is camp level. Like, we are here at our own accord."
I got a Frisbee
The
in my
one girl
hand, bro.
actually did escape, and she walked off, and they about lost their minds over it because it makes them look bad. That's all it does. And
What'd
she's
she do?
gone
She just
for
walked
help.
out. She just walked out.
Yeah, she left.
I'm out.
And
Did they get her back?
Yeah, they found her eventually, but we were all rooting for her to escape. And
Sure.
she had gone to the mental health building that day asking for help. She's going, my meds aren't working. I'm freaking out. Like, I'm going into psychosis. Like, please help me. They told her they would give her a shot for being out of bounds for showing up, because you're only supposed to show up to certain places when you're on the call out and when you're scheduled. But she's like trying to advocate for her mental health, and they just said, you're going to get a disciplinary action if you don't leave. And then she lost her mind and walked right off. And
Andy Dufresne'd it, and
that's what I was thinking. She Shawshanked that. She Shawshanked her way out of there.
That's it's unbelievable. It's almost worse, like mental psychology of, yeah, you can walk away if you want. It's right there, but you're not getting far. You're coming back, and it's
5 years extra on your sentence.
Yeah. That's not what you're looking for.
No.
So okay,
and
at the top,
they put you behind the wall at a much higher, security building, and the higher the security, the more violent the cops are. And even at that camp I was at, the captain and 4 of his subordinates, after I got out, all got convicted of raping and stalking inmates and tampering with PREA evidence. Like, they had over 20 victims, and finally, after and that's probably not even half of them. And it's just disgusting. And when I was there, I filed a PREA against Somerset County in Maine for forcing me to strip in front of cameras under duress of being maced and extracted. I also had a lieutenant telling me to unalive myself, and that she couldn't wait for me to get out because so I'd overdose and I'd stop wasting taxpayers' money. Like, this is what they're saying to inmates in jail. And then it was just in the paper that she said that to another inmate, and they had to cut them down from a suicide attempt. Jeez. So I'm like, no, you guys knew about this. And, they refused to give me that PREA paperwork. And then Alderson, when they got that report back from Somerset from my complaint, they wouldn't even let me hold it to read it myself. They literally said, well, we don't do that. You can't send a copy home, and we're not going to give it to you. I'm like, it's my complaint. Like, what do you mean? And then when you get out, if you want to press charges, the first thing they say, oh, well, did you follow protocol? Did you file a PREA? Did you file this paperwork? Well, yes, I did. They just didn't give it to me. So
yeah, there's no paper trail.
No.
Yeah, exactly. That's how they are covering up all the abuse in these jails. These institutions have so much power, and it's just disgusting. Like, I love Paris Hilton for coming out and speaking out against institutions. Like, I know it's a boarding school with her, but it's the same thing. It's an institution hiring abusive people that should not have this power over others.
Yeah, it's like most things, it's systematically corrupt from the top, generally because of money. Someone's getting paid to do something, and then you're bringing in the type of people that can fall in line with that with the behavior. So It's a forever living cycle, which is terrible. And I don't know how you fix it. I think you got to start locally and one person at a time, which is what you're doing. Beautiful segue by me. So you you get the art going in jail. So you start off by stealing supplies, but eventually, they get you get some, and you make your $58 a month, killing it. And so where do you go from there? So you get released. Now you're an artist. Would you call yourself a full-time artist, or where's your
pretty much
describe us your kind of art career now?
So I had a couple art shows. My first one was during Addiction Awareness Month at one of the local shops downtown. And then I joined the Bangor Artist Society for a little bit, and I did some shows with them. And then during the pandemic, I found this great company called Le Galeriste from Canada. They're like French Canadian, and they make environmentally friendly clothing, like these beautiful clothes. And with your art, basically. Yeah. So I have a portal, I have a website. I just got a grant. I'm like super psyched. I got a $10,000 grant. I'm like, I've never gotten this much money before legally.
Legally. Yeah, that's also EPM clothing, right? On And this is a name. This I knew I wasn't gonna be able to pronounce anything French. La Galleriste, is that what you said?
The galleries. Yeah.
La Galleriste. That was more Spanish than
Yeah, I was
French.
gonna say that was way Spanishy.
It's because I can roll my tongue, so I showed off. La Galleriste. Lagariste.com, EPM clothing. I was checking out today. So your art, you can wear your art, which is pretty cool. But so let's take one step back. So kind of describe to us your art, your inspiration. So now you were, exposed to art music as a young child, as a kid. You go through this, horrific spiral in your life. You get yourself out of it. Now art has come back to you. How much has taken from that experience? How much is it of, just your kind of a natural influences? Most, if not all, of the greatest artists in whatever genre you want to think of have been some type of tortured soul. Do you use a lot of that in your art? I know, flowers is a big thing for you, but
I do a lot of political pieces too. And I do a lot of portraits of, people that have overdosed or, lost somebody, just to memorialize them. And I love doing pet portraits too. But yeah, I do a lot of kind of like, then I'll like go on the other end and like, I'll do some like gothic, like weird, like kind of, metal chick, genre type. I don't know. I'm kind of a wild card. Like one day I'll be doing like these girly flowers and fairies and mermaids. And the next it's like skulls and, demons and everything else. I'm a bit, unpredictable, I guess.
Slipknot style. I see the shirt.
Yeah.
And you sing a little bit too, I read. Now
I do. I used to sing in solitary and like I never had the courage to like sing in front of people. And then like I didn't even realize people could hear me. And then like I stopped and they yelled at me to like keep going. And then the guard was like, you have people like up against their door listening to you at night. And I was like, oh, okay. And then I was in the prison gospel choir and that was a lot of fun. And
did you take requests? Did you take requests while you were there?
I mean, yeah, sometimes if I like knew the song enough.
Do you know a song called My Neck, My Back?
I do.
Oh, perfect.
Ray made me play. So I also sing and play a little guitar. We could start a band, but that would be our first cover. Ray made me play that. Ray made me play that song. Well, we could do it Slipknot style. We could have fun.
All right. I left prison with matching crocheted Slipknot luggage. It was pretty sweet.
That's awesome.
That's great.
Have you ever thought about writing to Lifetime about your whole story? And like, this is like a made for TV movie, right? Your life, like it checks off all the boxes. Like, do you need an agent? Do you have an agent?
I don't have an agent. I don't even know how to go about doing that, but
you can do that.
I hit you guys up on, LinkedIn. So I've kind of been like resorting to doing that for PR and I've had a little bit of luck with it. So
no, but seriously, like that's like a whole Lifetime movie. Like your whole story.
Could be a motion picture, Ray. Don't cut it short.
Well, I'm just saying.
I was talking about it with my therapist, like how badly I used to like disassociate like from reality. And I'd literally be like, this isn't real. This is a movie. Like this is not happening right now.
Yeah, no. And the way that you describe it, the type of sensories that I got from that one interview. Yeah. I mean, I know Ray was kind of half joking, but he's got a point. It's definitely a sensational. And, in terms of raising awareness, certainly there have been
why not? Yeah.
Less things made and less important things for sure. So give it a thought. And if you want a little help poking out there, Ray's a excellent man on the internet. He's able to creep in every crevice.
I would appreciate that.
I can find something for you.
Yeah. Don't cut us short. We are simple-minded, but we're tenacious.
Yeah. Somewhere in the credits, just put us. That's all
I want. Look, Elizabeth, we don't want to take up more of your time. This was good, informative, fun, deep, topic deep. For sure. But we appreciate you putting in the efforts and getting the awareness out there. Where so let us know, where can we find your stuff, or where can we be a part of the cause? Where should we go?
Well, my clothing brand is on legalleries.com /Elizabeth.Mikotowicz. I know that's like really long. But you can I mean, I've personally been, writing to my representatives and, making noise, that way, and finding prison reform groups. I mean, they want to gaslight us with land of the free, and we make up 20% of the global incarceration population. We have more people in prison than entire continents, and it's always follow the money. A hospital saves $350,000 a year. Contracting their dirty laundry to have it washed by inmates instead of paying workers.
Yeah.
Like, they would rather put us all in prison and, make us work for pennies a day. And, I watched a girl, she was shoveling the snow, being paid like $11 a month. She slipped and broke her leg. By the time they brought her to the hospital, they had to re-break her leg because the bone was fusing back together. Like, they don't even take care of the people in there. And it's to the point, it's abusive, it's barbaric. Other countries don't do this. No. And then you're creating dangerous people while they're in there, and you're calling it rehabilitation. People are so traumatized when they get out of prison. Like, it's not even fathomable to think they can act right. And some of them actually do, which is a miracle.
Yeah. And, sounds like you're one of them. So kudos to you on that. And certainly not a reformative process by any means. I
went back on probation. The first time I got out, I fell apart and went right back. I couldn't even leave my house. And when I did, I'd relapse. So, I mean, it took a lot of work and, just a
tenacious.
Lot of
work. Yeah.
This is why this is clicking. Mm-hmm. Tenacity. Yeah. Raymond?
Last question. Do you have zappy fever?
I don't know if that is.
Say the only sports question we asked.
We only had one sports question. That was the one. You watch NFL? No NFL?
No,
foosball.
It doesn't really hold my attention. But it was fun watching the girls play sports in prison. It was like unit versus unit, and then it would usually turn into an argument or a fight. And
did you guys gamble on it? Did you gamble while you were there?
I mean, I didn't, but
the girls. No, the girls. No, did the girls, like, was that like one of the things, like, you could see people betting on who would win?
Yeah, it's
yes.
That's more prevalent with the men, but yeah, there are some women there that will take bets and put their commissary in and
hell yeah.
Stuff. But
man, you could have been like high rolling 58 a month.
You could have been like doubling that.
Just big blinding the shit out of them. Yeah. Yeah. Now you lost my whole train of thought. Oh yeah, so okay, sports wasn't a thing. Not what do they do in Maine? Like ice fishing, hockey.
Oh yeah, well yeah.
Lobster diving,
ice fish,
scuba,
lobster fishermen.
Yeah, some lobster diving. Go down there, scoop the traps.
Yeah.
Well, that's a zappy fever. Just look into it. See if you want the antibodies. It's catching on.
It's catching on in New England.
Elizabeth, thanks so much. We appreciate it, and good luck to you. We'll send you some links and stuff when we promote it and put your website out there and everything. So
thank you.
Okay, have a good night.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
She was polite. I removed her from the chat.
Oh, you did that?
Yeah.
I thought she had her finger on the clicker.
Nope.
That was very
she
quick.
Gave me time. Yeah. I paused for a half second to see if she would give me time. And no, manners from Elizabeth Mikotowicz.
Very good. You still got it.
Lithuanian.
It's because you fucking in the email, you like broke it down.
Hey, way to read the email, dumb shit.
Hello.
Fresh cut.
I did. Thank you. My wife didn't even notice. She didn't even fucking say a word.
Hasn't looked at you since 2003.
Look at that fucking cut. Fuck. Oh, God damn.
It makes your ears look really elfish.
Oh, I know. When he was cutting it today, I was like, "You fucking ugly bastard."
Yeah, they really project out at the top.
They do. I don't know if it's so that. Hold on. I don't know if it's because I'm getting fatter.
The ears and the nose are the two appendages that keep growing as you get older. Oh, that's not helping. The way that you have the old headphone set up.
Well, no, I'm just trying to
like
set
fucking Dumbo.
There. That's why. Thank you.
Cover those bitches up.
Thank you. Cheers.
Cheers, cheers, cheers.
How are you?
Yeah.
You know what I noticed today? And
Go
I'm kind of envious of you. When I had a young child, well, yeah, because it like really came up today. When you have an infant or a newborn in your house, when you have baby wipes, is that not a game changer for you?
We've had this conversation. I don't dip into my child's baby wipes for my own asshole.
Really?
No, like then because it would have to be a special trip to go get them or steal an entire pack and just put it in the bathroom. At that point,
the way you shit, you don't ever be like, "Hey, I'm gonna steal a baby wipes, put them in my special bathroom drawer, so when the time comes, they're there."
No, because also I have multiple bathrooms, humble brag. So I would have to have multiple.
I shit in the same bathroom at my house. I have multiple bathrooms, and I shit in the same bathroom. I've shown
as a plumber. How dare you not flex out the pipes?
Because do you see the scenery I get when I shit in that one bathroom?
It is nice.
It's very, very refreshing and very soothing.
It is nice. Yeah, I have a favorite, but that's the guest, so I can't always use that one.
Is that the one right when you come inside?
No.
Oh, where's the
that's the hot box powder room. There you can't.
I enjoy that one. Your mom was doing dishes, and I'm trying to like silently take a poo. I'm like, oh no, she's gonna hear this.
The one thing that's nice about that is for some reason they put a vent in there because it's a 4x3 room. But when the AC's cranking, open that vent. Whew,
really?
Now you get an ice box.
So summertime, that's the
bathroom. Out ice cube, dude.
That's the bathroom to go to in the summertime.
Yeah, in the summertime you always stay as low as possible. So we're fixing on getting another bathroom here. Just
I know.
Another bathroom, another humble brag.
I was there to help you decide on where to put everything.
I want to be one of those houses that has more bathrooms than bedrooms at one point.
That'd be
that
awesome.
would be really fitting for me.
Didn't Lil Wayne say that? I got 10 bathrooms. What was that line?
You know, I'm not familiar with Mr. Wayne's work.
Very good band.
Except for the Carter.
He's from Nolans.
Yeah.
This Carter got money, and you know it. Take it out your pocket, then show it, then throw it. This away, that away. Is that the one you're familiar with?
I'm not sure. You
said the Carter 4. I believe that's the Carter 4.
Okay.
Maybe
I think Dreams is on there with Jay-Z.
Maybe. I don't know song
Mr.
names.
Carter. I think Mr. Carter's on there with Jay-Z.
I don't know song titles. You have to give me the melody.
No, I refuse. Our guest is in the waiting room.
Ooh, early. I like it. Punctual. Good luck in saying her last name. One more time.